I haven't done one of these in a while, so forgive me if I leave something out. Gravity is possibly one of the most critically acclaimed movies of 2013. I mean, people are comparing the director, Alfonso Cuarón, to Spielberg. That hasn't happened, not that I know of, since Shyamalan. Let's hope Alfonso keeps it that way, and not adapt a beloved TV show, only to let us down because of how bland and lifeless the movie is. But I digress. The plot is as follows. Sandra Bullock plays a medical engineer on a routine servicing mission to the Hubble telescope. George Clooney co-stars as a lovable, eccentric astronaut. And by God, I love him. There's also another supporting character, who is probably the guy I relate to the most because he's the guy who has way too much fun in Zero Gravity, like everyone else would. It's just a shame he's not in the movie that long. While repairing, they are informed of a Russian missile strike against one of their own outdated Russian satellites, causing a chain reaction wiping out every satellite that the breeze fly through. And it flew through enough satellites to remake the opening scene from Wall-E. George Clooney tries to help Sandra Bullock out of her crane arm thing, but she gets cut right out the shuttle because of some debris. So she realizes that she needs to detach and ejects her seatbelt. You all saw in the trailer, she's plummeting through space at the speed of light, and she can't tell the sun from the earth. But in the trailer, I thought it launched her to the other side of the freaking galaxy, but in reality, she had her eyes closed. Well, I wouldn't like to spoil anything major, so why don't you just go see the movie right now? I'm sure by the time I'm reading this, it's still in theaters. I really have to commend the visual designers on this movie. I mean, the way they blended the other faces, like, they're not really there, the actors. Only their faces are really a part of that. The bodies, the suits, they're CGI puppets, which is actually pretty good. I mean, I also have to commend how true they were to space, to the real physics of space. What little there are, and how there's no sound space. It's all it all just came together perfect. And the way Sandra interacts with the various shuttles and floats through them is a puzzler for a guy who dissects movies like me. I mean, like, I don't see any wires or anything, so mind blown. I mean, look at this. It's insane. Not to mention the score. It's intense, and it more than enough makes up for the lack of sounds when a ship/station is crippled by debris.
Man down! Man down! Explorer's been hit. Explorer, do you read? Explorer, look, Explorer. Astronaut is off structure. Dr. Stone is off structure. Dr. Stone, detach. You must detach. If you don't detach, that arm's going to carry you too far. Listen to my voice.
And if you're wondering why there are no sound effects, well, it's space. It's a vacuum. You cannot hear in a vacuum. I didn't feel as much attachment as I think I should with Sandra. I mean, don't get me wrong, she does a great job, and she has a pretty touching backstory about her and her family. I just wasn't feeling for her as much as I think I should have. I do feel, however, this movie is going to win an Academy Award. I just know it. And if it doesn't, then those people are a bunch of troglodytes. Because this movie has best special effects in spades. This movie did feel a little underwhelming in some aspects, though. As I said, the trailers were misleading. A little. But the problem was very minor, though. It doesn't hinder the movie in the slightest. This movie is definitely worth checking out. I mean, like, dude, what critic wasn't talking about this when it first came out? It was such a massive critical success. It's surprisingly short, in fact, because it felt like an eternity in the theater. I will say though, the second half of the movie got really slow, and they kind of faked you out there. Like if you see this movie, you're gonna be really excited for one moment, and then you're gonna be like, ah. Still, it doesn't spoil the magical feeling when watching this movie.
Ryan, where's home?
Home?
Down there. Mother Earth. Where do you pitch your tent?
Lake Zurich.